Welcome to the Theatre of Dreams, Darcy Street, for today's Lakoseljac Cup quarter-final between South Hobart and Hobart Zebras. Two of the titans of Tasmanian football stepping toe-to-toe for a spot in the Final Four of Tasmania's Premier Knockout Cup competition. Damien Gill from FFT, a bit of a sniffly customer at the moment, a bit of a cold Drewster, but by my side is Andrew Cooling, new to FFT actually. Congratulations, your first day as an FFT employee.
Yeah, good to be here, Gilly, as always, and good to be on board with you over at Midfield Taz. With what we can do in the States with the game this year, and certainly no bigger occasion to start on than South Hobart up against the Zebras. Yeah, a massive clash here on Easter Monday at Darcy Street. Two very strong teams, two teams that have started with consecutive wins. South Hobart are probably going to come into this one as favourites, but underestimate Zebras at your own peril. It's a pretty strong looking lineup they've got. Get into the teams shortly, but what's your thoughts on the type of game we might see today, Gilly?
Yeah, before I get on to that, the crowd probably not where what we'd sort of hoped for a clash of this scale, but I did just see Sean Toghill stroll through the gate, so all is well as far as the crowd's concerned. We'll have an atmosphere. What a
Crowd
champion.
noise will be fine, there's no doubt.
Best supporter in the state, bar none. The game, I expect today, expect a fairly cagey affair to start with. I think both teams will just feel each other out early days. Zebras are an interesting one because we know they hate a big game. Traditionally, the last few years, they've made plenty of finals and they've played in a lot of big games and been on the precipice of silverware, but they haven't brought it home. So today is a massive test to see whether anything's changed for the boys from KG5. On paper, they're very, very good. Undefeated in the league so far. They're ticking all the right boxes, but they do meet a South Hobart team that is red hot at the moment. It's all going well for Ken Morton's troops. The only omission today that might have a say in the contest, in my opinion, is Dan Brown missing through concussion. He won't be right for the game, and it would have been a likely matchup for Luke Hoogsley up top. So that lack of height is maybe something that plays into the Zebras' favour, but I expect a fairly cagey start, and then we'll see some wonderful football throughout.
Yeah, Brown out. A pretty handy replacement they have to bring in the shape of Hugh Ludford, though. Not a bad centre-back to be able to bring off the bench after he was rested against the Lions on the weekend. So they'll line up with Lewis and Ludford at centre-half. But as you touched on, the height could be an issue. Sherman, we imagine, will be pairing with Hugh Sloan up top today for the Zebras. And certainly, if they do look to get crosses in, put the ball on their heads, that could cause a few headaches. It's definitely going to be an area, I think, we see Zebras targeting. They've got a couple of good wingers in Engels and Morano. They'll get it wide. They'll look to attack from wide areas, cross in. And obviously, we'll wait and see what the formation is. But they've been playing a lot of 4-4-2 so far early in the season. Will they do that again today against South Hobart, who have been playing, well, Ken calls it a 4-1-4-1, but it's 4-3-3 when push comes to shove, really. Defensive midfielder to three up front. And perhaps they will be outmatched in midfield. Hay and Muller going to have a lot of work to do up against the Morton, Kemp and Turner combination. So certainly, going through the middle of the park, you'd expect a fairly strong advantage to South Hobart. But if they can get it wide, they can get crosses in. As we mentioned, they've got the physical stature up top to really test the South Hobart defence. So I think, as you've suggested, KG could be the way it starts. So often these big cup clashes do, but I think there's certainly going to be plenty of chances for goals purely for the offensive players out there on the pitch.
Yeah, there's plenty on offer in terms of offensive talent, particularly the two centre forwards for either side. Probably the pick of the bunch in terms of across competition, in terms of big centre forwards, in Alex Lazinski and Luke Hoogsley. I think you said, Drewster, in your pre-game preview, you think Alex Lazinski is just about the form player of the state at the moment. He is playing that well.
Yeah, I really do think he is. He's been very, very impressive so far, really relishing the role as the lone centre forward. Now Braden Mann's departed. He's become the big focal point up top and uses that big frame to his advantage. He's a great outlet for them, but his finishing's also been really impressive. He's had a couple of very tidy goals so far this season. He's going to be huge, and certainly South Hobart, the way they've started this year, they are going all out. They've won the Summer Cup. They blasted past Lonnie City here with a scintillating second half a couple of weeks ago in the round of 16. And two very comprehensive victories in the league to start the season. They are the form team in the state at the moment, and a lot of that has been due to Big Albie's work up top.
Yeah, and the inclusion of Nick Morton, don't undersell that. He's huge in from an attacking perspective, but it just adds so much class to that midfield. Went away from a year in Melbourne. I think he'd probably admit it didn't go his way. He had a stint at Melbourne City and then a stint at South Hobart. Neither club could he really sink his teeth into a starting position or anything of the like. So he's back now, back at his home club of South Hobart, and he's taken to it like a duck to water so far. It looked like he's never left, really. Chemistry's there with the players, and I think he's in for a big year. We're not too far away from kick-off, Drewster. We've got some 7 minutes. Probably a good time to actually look exactly who's starting and how we think they'll line up. Start with a home side, South Hobart, as my page loads.
Well, James Wilson, I suspect, will be the goalie, unless something radical's changed there. And you'll have the fullbacks, Liam Quayle, Luke Farrell. Quayle has been particularly in form in recent times. He looks like another one of those youngsters who's come on, taking another step. He has been really impressive bombing down that right-hand flank.
Yes, so you're spot on. My page is finally loaded. James Wilson, Loic Farrell with Lewis and Ludford. Little doppelganger pairing, really. Similar types in more ways than one. Play very similar. Both big, heavy-set fellas. They'll partner in the centre of defence, and then, as you said, Liam Quayle, been exceptional so far this season. He'll be on the other fullback. Give him a lot of drive back there, he does. I like the way he plays his football. He's a little terrier, is Quayle. Just gets into the opposition. It's really good to watch. In midfield, we'll see the likes of Morton, Turner, who's back into the mix after missing the opening game, of course, through suspension. He's back there. And Kobe Kemp. He was a tremendous story last season. He won the South Hobart's Best and Fairest as a really young player. Showed a lot of maturity out on the pitch, and he's prone to score the odd worldie from long range.
One of the best two-way players in the competition is Kobe Kemp. He's just a very well-rounded midfielder. Does his defensive work superbly, and as you've touched on, he's a threat from range. He creates. He's a fantastic player. He's going to be a big key. And that's a pretty formidable midfield three, Morton, Turner and Kemp. And certainly if Zebras do go 4-4-2 as they have, it's going to be a real tough battle to negate those three.
Then you've got Albie Lazinski, which we've, of course, spoken about. Alfred Hess and Darcy Hall. And I think those two work really nicely. On one flank, you have Darcy Hall, who's just lightning quick and provides a lot from an attacking sense. And then on the other wing, you have a real workhorse in Alfred Hess who will just wear you down because he just won't stop running. Probably not as silky on a touch as Hall is, and very different players, but it's a good dynamic having both of them in the side on opposite flanks.
It's provided very good balance. It's a very well balanced side this year, South Hobart. Last year that wasn't always the case, but they've struck that balance between defence and attack, and I suppose craft and guile and work rate. And you've seen the results so far in the first month of the season.
Yeah, indeed. We'll move on to the Hobart Zebras, Drewster. And as you alluded to, they'll probably line up in 1-4-4-2 formation with Alex Woodham guarding goal today. Of course, Graham Wright on his way, not quite in the state yet. So Alex Woodham gets an opportunity after missing their opening game as well through suspension. Defence, you'll see Dwayne Walsh, Henry Squared. That's Henry Moody and Fag. And Matthias Toghill, who's coming in with a bit of an illness cloud, as it were, and but he's been past the fit to play, so their defence is pretty much business as usual. Big Henry Moody. I like the way he plays his football. He's a real physical presence, and pretty ideal matchup for Alex Lazinski, really.
Yeah, should be able to marshal him. It'll be a fascinating duel, that. Also, I have been impressed with him in an attacking sense of corners. He's a real threat every time he bombs forward for the set piece. He's a real handful at both ends, Moody, but certainly his major task will be trying to negate Big Albie today. But two physical warriors out there, and that should be a cracking battle between those two.
Absolutely. On to the midfield. You'll see Jaden Hay in there, and Jordan Muller, who has to be the uh, most improved player in the competition over the last 12 months. He's been a real bolter, Jordan Muller. He couldn't get a game not long ago, and now he's just the rock in their midfield. He's their best midfielder for mine. And then on the flanks, as you alluded to earlier, we'll see Michael Moreno and Kurt Engels, the Zebras skipper this year. He's taken on the extra leadership, and I'm sure he'll be out to make today a winner. Then up top, the big frames, slightly bigger Luke Hoogsley, who scored a hat-trick on league debut, and James Sherman, who's making his way back from injury, but we know he's a quality player, and it makes for a formidable top pairing.
Yeah, it's a good side. Those two up top are going to be really looking to hustle and give the centre backs, it might be slightly undersized, if anything, the South Hobart pairing, a little bit to worry about in a physical sense. It should be interesting to see how Lewis and Ludford go about dealing with the threat that Hoogsley and Sherman provide. Sherman obviously hasn't played a lot of football this season, coming back from injury. He might be a little bit rusty, had a good run out on Saturday. Interesting that he gets the nod over Adam McEwen today. He's on the bench. Not too often he gets omitted, but shows the sudden depth that they've got in the striking position up there, Zebras, which they certainly didn't have last year.
Yeah, one would suspect that's more a tactical thing than anything, that they think the type of players can maybe get one over the defence of South Hobart. But, yeah, it's really interesting. Adam McEwen, of course, I think he hit 26 or 28 goals last year, yet he finds himself out of the side.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but certainly you got to think they're going to be looking to play a direct style or get it wide, get crosses in, try and use the aerial advantage those two have. That's probably why Sherman gets the nod there. They do line up 4-4-2. You'd imagine the midfield is going to be possession. Maybe will go South Hobart's way. They've been dominant so far start the season. So probably just a tactical move by the manager, Chris A. The two teams, or one of the two teams lining up out there. Zebras will be on their way shortly. We're not too far away from kick-off here on Easter Monday. It should be an absolute blockbuster as the Zebras come out of the change rooms now. I thought about this one. I like the Zebras team this year. I think when they're full strength, they're going to be right up there when the whips are cracking at the end of the season. But today, the form they're in, I just can't look past South Hobart. And I'm going them with a 3-1 victory.
3-1, I'll go 2-1, South Hobart. I think it's going to be a nail-biter, this one, and the game will still be up for grabs as it goes into the dying stages, but I think South Hobart will be too good on their home pitch, which looks a picture. It really does look in good nick. This Darcy Street pitch is thunderstruck, echoes throughout Darcy Street, or South Hobart Oval as it's often referred, and the teams prepare and get into lineup. Both teams would be pumped up for this one. Such a massive prize, Rooster. Getting that Final Four of Lakoseljac Cup and really stake your claim for Tasmania's only FFA Cup spot.
Yeah, the extra cherry on top, that one. Both teams will be going all out to win. They've got two full-strength sides pretty much, certainly the strongest sides they could have selected out there. It'll be interesting to see how they back up. They've obviously both played in the league on Friday and Saturday. The Zebras have had one extra day's rest. How will that affect things? Obviously, not the easiest task, especially for a few of the older boys, to back up 2 games in the space of a few days. But 2 very strong lineups have been selected. So I've got to assume they're right to go. It promises to be an enthralling encounter, this one, at Darcy Street. And another lovely day, as it was when they played Launceston City here a couple of weeks ago. That was 3-0 that day. 0-all at half-time. A pretty cagey first half, that one. And certainly after that, very open game, and it'll be interesting to see if we get that here or whether both managers are a bit more pragmatic, a bit more cautious with what's at stake, not just the Cup, but that FFA Cup qualifying spot. This makes it a huge game, huge stakes. This could easily be a final, these two teams, and here they are in the quarters, ready to meet the two skippers. Head out to the middle there, the Engel grinder, Kurt Engels, one of our favourites up here. He'll play on the left wing today and should present a tough task for young Liam Quayle. He's started the year in fantastic form, but he probably hasn't had quite as tough a matchup as Kurt Engels will provide him. And if he does bomb forward just a little bit too much, then Engels is a man who could certainly get in behind and exploit them. So the fullbacks are going to have to be careful. South Hobart, they both like to get forward, like to overlap, but they get a bit too adventurous. A very dangerous wing combination in this Zebras lineup. Could absolutely get them back the other way. That's a determined bunch out there, Gilly. There's a roar from the Zebras boys. They're pumped for this one. They know what's at stake. We're about to get underway here at Darcy Street. South Hobart to take the kickoff. Big Albie Lazinski and Darcy Hall standing over, not the ball because the ref's still holding that one. So the linesman just getting into position. And we're ready to go here at Darcy Street. Should be an absolute cracker of a contest.
Really good atmosphere and buzz throughout the place for what is an absolute massive game. We've got Alex Lazinski and Nick Morton to kick this one off. Black and white stripes ahead of them. We are going. Lakoseljac Cup quarter-final between South Hobart and Hobart Zebras. An almighty gap to start. And straight to Jack Taylor. That is an absolute howler. South Hobart open within seconds. It's hard to believe. It was like a pass of... I'm not sure what went on there. Zero communication at the back. Dwayne Walsh just puts it straight out there for Jack Turner. He wanders in and says, thank you very much. 1-0.
Well, they might be sharing the same name. The Henrys might have the same name, but they're not on the same page as each other right there. They both just sat there and looked at the ball, left a massive gap. You could drive a truck through that gap. Jack Turner bobs up, makes it 1-0, 10 seconds in. Hughes looking to get them back immediately. What's the deal with that is Farrell. Muller playing Morano. Immediately rolled by two defenders. I'll win a corner here. Just able to keep it in, and in the end, the Richmond Farrell gives away the free kick. So a chance to just get the South Hobart defence under the pressure early on, but the worst possible start. We touched on in the pre-game, they've got a bit of a reputation of being slow starters, the Zebras. They've struggled in big games early on. I remember a game last year against South Hobart. They fell into all sorts against them in the first few minutes. It was all over early. Certainly love to get back here, and they might be back on terms. At the back post was Moody. He flicked it over the top and went through a sea of bodies. The big centre back almost had a chance to redeem himself there, but he's volleyed it over the top. It opened up for him. He probably should bury that, the big centre half. Just got under it a bit too much, and a great chance to level within a minute. It could have been 1 all minute and 40 seconds into the game. It's been a cracking opening of this one as Lewis charges forward. Let's pick out Darcy Hall going down the right-hand side. Moody across to deal with that and thumps it out of play. Quite the start here at Darcy Street. 1-0, 10 seconds. Howler back there. Zebras. Good chance to get back on terms as Moody's across to deal with this. S pressures in, but Moody thumps it long, looking for big throw of Hughes. Luke drops it off the Hay. It's got 2 to beat. In the end, it's out of play there by Cody Kemp. Battle between those two in the middle of the park. The best midfielders in the state, Kemp and Hay. Hay gets the ball here and plays it back to Coghill. Directly to Hughes Luke. Ludford did well to deal with him. Muller now charging forward for Zebras. Leaves it for Morano, plays in Muller, who's got a chance from the angle, but Lewis was awake to the danger and got across to snuff that out. Lovely ball there. I hate to play him in, but well defended by Lewis. A very experienced customer at the back. Plenty of years of football experience from Matt Lewis. A staple in this South Hobart defence over the last few years, and as well as Hay launches a long throw. Turner's up, so is Hughes Luke. In the end, bumped well away by Quayle. Go as far as Moody on halfway. Moody, in fact, really communicate in that first goal, I think was the issue. I assume they were going for it. Forced the ball between them, and a real gimme start. They've essentially come into the game with a 1-0 handicap. Second in. Turner heads on. Here's Hess, throws it, looks to lob it over the top of Darcy Hall, but Wayne Walsh cut that out. Here's Moody. Verano. Back. Good pass to Hughes, who turns his defender Lewis nicely and lays it out for the angle grinder. One-on-one with Farrell. Gives it a little step over. Looks to get to the byline. He wants to go onto his left foot though. That's well defended by the Frenchman. He just kept him on that right-hand side. Knew that he wanted to cut back into it. Throwed him onto his right foot in the end. Wills to Wilson. Really nicely defended there by the Frenchman. Demands an offer. Comes eventually in the fourth hole. Flicks it to Nick Morton, who turns on it. Plays it across to Lewis. He looks up. Morton offering short, but goes the more direct avenue. Darcy Hall. It's a brilliant ball from Lewis. Can Hall control it? He does. Looks to lay it back for Hess. He's still going Hall. Well defended again by Walsh. Hall still going. Lays it back for Turner. Oh, put it wide. Great chance. Darcy Hall just did a great job just to think his way through this. His first cross, you see, he was blocked, turned back in the end. Second one blocked. Finally squares it up. Put it on a platter for Turner. But he blasted it wide very easily and made it 2-0 and a brace. Jack Turner, recruit Ingra Lions. He's going to give away a foul there. Sherman. Oh, the Hugheslet goes down. That goes down again. Doesn't get any love from the referee though. Ag will just play it back to Woodham. Woodham plays in short. Oh, very nice little turn there. In the middle. And Nick Morton sights him down, but he won the ball. Still fighting on there was Sherman. And in the end, the referee judges him to have handled the ball. And we thought maybe they'd play 4-4-2, but it does look like Sherman is lining up in central midfield today. Absolutely playing up top with Engels, Morano either side of him. So Sherman looks like he's the most advanced of a midfield three, but he's not playing up top as he has previously this season. As Morton heads it back for Hall, immediately plays it back for Morton, crosses in, and they fag have a problem to deal with. Falls to Jack Turner, plays it for Hess. Can he control it? Another drive from Turner. He's been in everything early. He's shot his spot by Toghill, and we have a corner, but it is all South Hobart at the moment. They're causing some real havoc at the back. Damien Gill, I think you're finally done typing there, mate.
Yeah, sorry, mates. It's all South Hobart and all you on the contrary because had to fill out a bit on the live blog. An update from down at the Den. Man's on the score sheet as they lead King of the Lions 1-0. Engels heads clear of the box. Comes back through Turner, who's just all over it like a cheap suit at the moment. Picked up from Ludford, lays off looking for Hess. It's swept away from Toghill. A few choice words for Hamish Cannon, the assistant referee on the far side. Quayle, bring it in. Goes in. Well cut off from Toghill, but he can't prevent it from rolling out. It's out for another throw in. And Quayle, they just gain a couple of metres, South Hobart. Already on top in this one. Who would have thought? Inside 15 seconds, I think it was, as Moody heaves clear with a head. Well, helps it further. Turner goes back in the box. Lazinski, it's aerial ping pong as it stands. Sherman might have the last laugh. He puts it long for Hoogsloot. Puts it in the path of Hay, but Ludford's on hand to see it clear. And then Walsh does the same at the other end for the Zebras. Not sure the first goal was Walsh's fault. I think the ball was perfectly adequate. Just no communication whatsoever. No words spoken between the centre-back pairing. Neither laid claim to it. As Lewis picks it up just inside his defensive half. Plays long. Moody should mop up. Unconvincing from the big centre-back. And he lets in Alfred Hess. And he earns his side a corner.
He's got himself into all sorts of trouble there, Moody. He really didn't need to. Well done by Hess. Assistance and work rate, real feature of his game. But Moody just needs to deal with that sooner and not let the situation get to that point. Had the greatest start to the game, the big centre half. He's a good signing for them, but started a little shakily here against South Hobart. As corner opportunity. Turner makes it on the near post. It's flicked on by Toghill. Centrally to Lazinski, though. He's had no real power behind it, though, and straight to Woodham, who can grab that one up and just to get it moving quickly. Oh, risky pass in short there for Hay. Lazinski was all over. He cut it off. Now Morton looks to pick out a run of Darcy Hall. Wilson run down the left here. One-on-one with Walsh. He looks up. He's got a few men in the box. Can't pick any out. It's well blocked by Walsh, but the clearance terribly convincing, and again, it's going to come right back at him. Farrell plays it in there. Cuts that out. His pass goes straight to Kobe Kemp, though. Now here's Alfred Hess on the right. What can he do? He plays it in for Lazinski, but Moody was across. And nods it behind for another corner, but they're just holding on at the moment. South Hobart really piling the pressure on. They're under siege. Other Zebras already a goal down, and they would not want to fall too behind inside of 10 minutes. Disastrous stuff. A long way back. Kemp chips this one in. Lazinski the target. Flicked on by Angles. Falls to Ludford. Really hit his left-footed volley with much conviction, but does enough to win the corner. Kept it down, which a deflection, and another chance from the set piece, and they're mounting early on these corner opportunities as Kobe Kemp strolls across again to take. Turner, Lazinski, Ludford and Terrell, as well as Hess, so 5 men in the box to pick out. Every single Zebras player is back defending. He crosses in, Woodham might claim, in front of him. It was Alfred Hess who got his head on it and flicked it just wide. If he had the direction there, the keeper was stranded. That was very nearly 2-0. That's quite poorly judged there by Woodham. Hess just off target. And a shaky old start here for the Zebras.
They are smashing them at the moment, South Hobart. Absolutely all over them in terms of territory, especially. Just buried in that defensive half, and they don't know what to do at the moment. It's played from Morton to Kemp. Can't get it by Hay, and he'll look to race away now. Kemp comes back defensively and wins it back for South Hobart.
Some lovely work there by Kemp. Midfield Maestro's going head-to-head there. Walsh with the throw. Take a moment to try and settle things down a bit. Goes for the head of Engels, but Morrell was across to deal with it, and Turner whacks it into the middle of the path. Not sure he was aiming for Hess, but he found him all the same. Hess spreads it out wide. Morrell plays it in, looking for the run of Darcy Hall, and trying to find him the head. Here's Lazinski working back, did well. Link-up play outstanding, and somehow got a foot in there, and Hay will, or Bag will rather, come across to deal with that and whack it on the roof. When in doubt, just clear the area. Absolutely the strategy here, because they're feeling it. At the moment, the Zebras, South Hobart turning the screws on them early. They know they've got them a little bit rattled, and they're trying to take full advantage as Ludford goes forward, and that one's blocked off again. It deflects out of play.
Indeed it does, Drewster. Yeah. I'll in here. And the skipper Hugh Ludford. Goes out in front of Morton. Morton with the first time ball, looks for Lazinski, he tries to flick it on. German does well in traffic, sees it out. Walsh wins it, but he's come down. He's in a bit of strife following the challenge with Ludford. Quayle on the ball as play goes on. Picked up from Turner and halfway. Dwayne Walsh still struggling to get to his feet. In a bit of trouble there.
Yeah, the claret there coming from the mouth of Dwayne Walsh. Knock there. Strides off. Now in there. Blood. Last one. Nearly up to Walsh. Go down lightly. No doubt he copped a whack there.
An update, Drewster, from down at the Den. 2-0 now to the Devonport Strikers.
Strikers riding high on momentum there.
12th minute gone, so very early days, and they're already well on top. You'd expect from there Devonport to make their way into the final four. Quayle picks it up. There's a bit of time to assess his options. Finds Morton in space. Usually calling for someone to close him down. Doesn't in time as he finds Hall. Forward for Farrell. Back for Hall. Space opens up. He flashes a shot. It's off the post. Can they sweep clear the Zebras? It's with Toghill now. He scurries it clear. And they're out of trouble somehow.
Well, Woodham was scrambling there. Oh, flashing a drive from range and wasn't far away. 2 centimetres on the side of the post, and that was 2-0. The cross comes in looking for Lazinski, but Fag was always favoured there. Now Sherman tried to drop it back to Moody, but left it there for Hall, who plays it for Hess, lost his footing, goes back to Darcy Hall. He might get the crossing now. It's blocked on the run, but Again, a corner. Another one. They're fifth already, South Hobart. We're just 13 minutes in as we look at the replay. Took a bobble and had Woodham nearly in all sorts there. They take it quickly. Here's Quayle with his left foot, plays in for Lazinski. Wasn't far away, the big fella. It's a beautiful cross from the left foot of Quayle. And Big Albie made good contact. Fractionally wide. Zebras, they are absolutely all out of sorts at the moment. South Hobart playing all over them. They're forcing turnovers. And they're playing some very nice football when they do have the ball, but Zebras have been far from convincing in possession. The communication's not great as they thwack this one forward, but Ludford should deal with that. He does. Straight to Fag, who nods it into the path. Morano. He plays the through ball deflection, so Wilson will want to get this. And he does. Actually, eventually closing him down, but nothing in a creative sense. Coming from the Zebras, it's Route 1 football when they get the ball. Lewis plays it in short for Hess. Closed down by Toghill. Look to get stuck in. Whale with the throw.
They're absolutely all over them, Drewster, aren't they? South Hobart. They've came to play today. Zebras just caught napping early, but they're also sitting very, very deep, inviting pressure on themselves almost, in my opinion. As the ball comes long, Toghill can't bring it under his spell. Lazinski wins it. Hess does his best. Track it down at the byline. Unfortunately, the line beats him. Be whipped in by goalkeeper Alex Woodham. Woodham over this one. Calls for numbers to pull forward. Zebras spent very little time in possession. Comes long. Walsh under it. Finds Engels. Who look to nip by Farrell. Puts it into the middle. Kemp picks it up for South Hobart to Morton. Then Hall. Farrell. Back for Morton, who does well in traffic to pick out Farrell. Kemp swings wide. Beautiful switch from South Hobart's number 6. Picks out Hess, and then Toghill picks it up and looks to run away, and Hess trips him. I'm not sure whether it was all that intentional. I think he was trying to get to his feet. Oh, but it didn't look good. Not a good look from Alfred Hess, and he's into the book.
Yeah, pretty straightforward one. He's not sure if it's intentional or not, but he still hooked around Toghill's leg with his arm, and he was off there, Toghill. Probably not a bad yellow take. As far as South Hobart are concerned, I want to invite them back into the game with a counter-attack there down the left-hand side. Well done by Toghill, getting stuck in. There's not been enough of that for Zebras players early. They've been a bit timid, attacking the ball, leaving it for each other. And they need some more play like that from Toghill. He set the tempo for his team. A nice play from Morano, but numbers win out. Back clear. Henry Fagg should gather. Plays it back across to Toghill. Immediately pressured. Muller. Morano. Wow, got in ahead of him, then copped a late knock for his troubles, but referee foul. Lewis will take the set piece there. Send the bodies forward again. Might just drop this one onto the head of Big Lazinski, who's given the centre-backs fits early in this one. He's been all over him. Plays it a little bit shorter where Freddie Hess has found a pocket of space. He just left it a little bit short for Darcy Hall, so Walsh was allowed to get in. He's under pressure here by Engels. High boot, but did well to win it. But it was a high boot eventually awarded. You get away with it, well done, but easy one. Although the referee said no, throw in. So
must have just trickled out of play there, Drewster.
Yeah, I think it was the previous bit of play. As this one's played for Hess on the overlap. He looks to get it in, and Moody deals with that out of play.
He's done pretty well there, Moody, actually. It will be a throw in. Ludford strolls over. Good start from South Hobart. Well on top here at Darcy Street. I think if you're a Zebras fan, you rocked up just as the game was starting, it would have been a real horrible start to proceedings as it comes along in Ludford. Moody nods it clear of Lazinski there for Hoodsloop, but he can't beat Kemp, who wins the ball, plays for Farrell. Good sliding effort from Hoodsloop. throwing his weight around. And he wins it away from the South Hobart skipper, Hugh Ludford, but it's a throw-in nonetheless as South Hobart gain metres down this left-hand side. Engels does well to nutmeg Farrell, but yet again another throw-in for the red and blue. Throws in, looking for Lazinski off his dome, and picked up by Muller. Hit forward by Walsh. Hoogsley can't bring it down with conviction, but then Sherman helps out to find Moreno. He goes back for Moody. This is unconvincing stuff from the Zebras. The ball more or less ping-pongs about until Lewis sees it out. Tokyo on the ball now. Throws for Moody. Chips it down the channel. And Quayle watches it out as South Hobart keep a hold of possession.
20 minutes gone here. 0-0. Jack Turner opening the scoring 10 seconds into the contest. Absolute communication between the Zebras centre-backs. Just left the ball sitting there. And Turner obliged. Scoring. Won't get many easier than that one. Since then, it's really been one-way traffic. Hobart coming on top. This huge salute with Hess down. Muller off throw, and Hess storming down the right. He's Zebras players to deal with. He looks to the outside of Toghill, who slides in and gets the corner, does he? It stops on the line, and Hess eventually flicks it off Toghill's knee, and they do get corner number either 6 or 7. They're certainly mounting up. Plenty of them against the Lions on Saturday, and certainly been developing early here. You'd have thought that the Zebras would have a bit more of the ball than this, though.
They've barely had it, really. You don't keep possession stats, but I wish we did at times like this, because it would be heavy in the red and blue camp. There's a sweat clear from the Zebras, but Darcy Hall might just put it back in the mixer. Hoogsley providing tremendous pressure. Play goes on. Fag into Hoogsley. Just puts it out of play right in front of the Zebras bench. Another throw in. Seems like they've had 10 or 11 by now. They continue to mount up down this left-hand side as it throw down the wing by the fullback Farrell. Picked up from Walsh, but everything is very, very hurried at the moment from the Zebras.
They get the ball forward, one pass, maybe 2, and then they're hitting a red wall in the middle of the park. We thought the South Hobart midfield 3 probably shake them, but at the moment there's been utter domination. Forwards are putting lots of pressure, so Hemp charging up there, putting pressure on the centre back there. They're swarming all across the pitch, they're pressuring him, and they're forcing mistakes. The passing has not looked crisp. The miscommunication between players has been pretty ordinary, although now Engels had got him behind Farrell, but to do so, he had just edged him out on his back a little bit. So it's brought back. Free kick taken into the middle. Morton goes in, Sherman follows up and crunches him afterwards. And the referee just tells him to calm down, but a hard challenge, but I just feel like Zebras need something like that at the moment, something to fire them up a little bit. He was very late there. Probably lucky to get away with the booking there, Sherman. Oh, that's cut out. Morano. Straight into the touch from him. Could have got that and gone on a run. Probably just opened up. Another flank from there. He's Freddie Hess been very busy early, Hess. He's done a lot of the ball. And his pass just sold Durrell short. And now Walsh will look to get down this right-hand side. We haven't seen any of this really from either of the fullbacks. And again, South Hobart are there to just negate anything before it really gets going.
Throw in now. Walsh to bring it in. Looking for the tall frame of Hoogsley. He flicks on. South Hobart to pick it up through Lewis. Hoogsley back on the ball though. Desperate stuff from the big tall centre forward. Picked up again from South Hobart. Turner puts it in the middle and Moody says thank you very much. Looks to dash away. Hess keeps him honest, but he does well to put it out on the right-hand side. Picks out Engels. Got Ludd for company. Nips inside of him. Farrell provides ample support. South Hobart does well. Stop Engels in his tracks. Puts a ball to the top of the 6. It's cut off from Lewis. Out for Hess. Flicks on. Lazinski does again. Tremendous stuff off the big ball dome of Albie Lazinski. Finds Hall. He looks to use his pace and Toghill comes in and clears convincingly. Beautiful bit of work from the fullback. Before that, Lazinski
What a flick.
would have been a wonderful assist.
Would have. Really well defended by Toghill there. Cut across the angle. Hall just showed too much of it to him. He slid in, but the play before it went around the box, it was better from Zebras. We saw Moody charging forward. They pressured the South Hobart back four, and they forced the turnover. They gave them a piece of their own medicine as Burrell now drives one into the box looking for Turner. Got a leg to it. Sherman away. He's going to come right back at them though, because his clearance went straight back to the Frenchman. Here's Kobe Kemp. Immediately pressured. Back to Ludford. Turner. Kemp. This is lovely build-up work. Here's Lazinski now. He's surrounded by Zebras bodies though. And they turn over. Morano. The ball, Hay surging through the middle, and Huxley laid it off for him. It's a lovely ball, but across the cover was Quayle, the fullback, awake to the danger and defended that beautifully. Good play from Huxley and Hay there, and the first real signs of life creeping into this one from the Zebs. They now played early on, but only a goal of difference, and they're starting to show a bit. Huxley goes up, wins the header, nods it down. Going to fall. Sherman, who went to Toghill, he'll retreat back. And goes to Sherman in the middle of the park. He's shut down by Turner. Sherman working hard, fighting and won the ball for his team. Morano lost it though. Morton, just got a bit fancy and tried to take on Huxley. Good luck doing that. Those long legs. Covers a lot of territory, the big centre forward. It's a tough man to dribble around as a scything challenge is made there. And the referee will reach into his pocket, will he? No. He's just going to give him a talking to there. Morano. Oh, they got away with one there.
Definitely. The yellow card from what I saw. Morano gets away with it. Bit of good fortune for the Zebras as it played forward from Lewis to Kemp. Ludford now. Plenty of time and space to assess his options. Finds the Frenchman, Burrell. They played amongst themselves. This experienced South Hobart pairing. Long down the line it goes, and Dwayne Walsh, number 9 for the Zebras, comes across to cut it off. In from Farrell, there for Hess. He nips it inside, somewhat unintentionally. Picks out Lazinski. He tries to squirt a ball into the box. It's cut off from Fag. Oh, strongly he finds Huxley, who unfortunately handles the ball. Cuts short an attack before it really got going. Morton forward now for Turner. Spins and plays. Cut off from Moody, and they might be on here, the Zebras. Huxley. Cut off from Lewis. Moody again, physical in a contest. Plays for Huxley. Lewis right on his back door. Sees it clear. One from Walsh. Looks inside, plays down the line. His skipper. Looks to receive it back. It's one from Ludford. Play it out on the left, and Farrell bombing on. Fag agriculturally up the pitch. Beyond halfway it goes. Turner sprays a ball, looking to switch it and find Kemp. Misses that target as Moore looks to race away. Squeezes out a ball from Moreno. He'll look to play in Engels. Engels from the byline. Puts it to the back post, and it's Hay who looks to meet it. It goes over everyone's head. And South Hobart are out of danger here. They play it down the line. Cut off from Sherman, who's doing a lot of work the other way. Hess nips in. South Hobart might be on here. Hess into the bullseye. Finds Morton. Morton looks to spread and find Lazinski. Moody first to it, and he can't quite pick out the head of Sherman. It's out of play for a throw-in.
Just awoken from their slumber a bit here, though, the Zebras. The last 5 minutes have been much better for them. They're flying in at the ball. They're pressuring them. They just had a few good minutes as Hess strays offside. And words exchanged between Chris Hay and his good man Sherman there. Yeah, it's been very busy the last few minutes and is fighting hard in that midfield, looking to provide the drive that largely missing in the first few minutes. Been a lot better. Of course, they throw bodies forward. Hobart will have more than a few questions the other way as Kemp wins this one. Pick out Lazinski though. Miscommunication between Walsh and Fag though. And Lazinski able to profit. He's got 3 men battering into him there, and in the end they went out. Morton forces the turnover, but fortunately it's spilled to Moody. Now Hay in the middle of the park. He slides it across to Muller. Returns the ball to Hay. Look to find Engels, but Farrell got a foot in. Shut that out. Walsh is pushing further and further up the ground. He's starting to influence this as Morton comes flying in from his blind side and infringes in the process. Have a look at this Walsh run. Got in from the side, and he did win the ball in fairness to Morton there. Wayne Walsh starting to have an impact. He was really pegged back very deep for the first 15-20 minutes. We're starting to see him bomb on and just pop up in more advanced areas. He is a key how their attacks work. They can get forward. It gives a little bit more space for angles. It'll be Hay to take. Sends it towards the back post. Oh, spilled by Wilson. Panic moment there, but eventually it's cleared to Hess. Safest hands there from Wilson as Hess is with his shirt held, and that'll be a free kick. They want to take this quickly with 8. The option had died. They had listing forward, but shut that one down as a couple of subs already just warming up on the Zebras sideline. I think it might be a little bit early for that, but a couple of them limbering up down there as Lewis takes his time with this one. He'll eventually go long onto the head of Lazinski. Don got a good piece of it, but too much, and it goes through to Woodham to gather. Alex Woodham. Graham Wright coming back, needs to impress here. Here's Hughes-Loop, lays it off to Engels. Good Engels, centering ball. Turned over, here's Darcy Hall sliding in well with Henry Fagg though. He did really well to win it back, got to Sherman, he turns. Morton picks his pocket and then looks to set away Darcy Hall. He's got more for pace here. What can Darcy Hall do? Cuts back inside, Walsh across in support. He's shot his block by Toghill. The follow-up is blocked by Moody, and eventually they scramble it clear. Neither of those shots really hit with power and conviction there from Hall. Didn't quite get his foot through it. It opened up for him in the end. Well done to the 3 Zebras defenders who got back. Stopped what was looking like a dangerous moment in attack here for Darcy Hall. Well, they did well to stick with the electric wing up. And they had the numbers centrally. Second shot, hit with any real power. As Sherman, who was caught on the ball in the middle by Morton, flicked it through. Kemp chipped this one centrally. Turner looks to get there. Engels away. It'll fall to Hall, who bounced it from range. It was flying wide of the mark. He made good contact, Darcy Hall. Had no direction there. Dangerous, moving outside the box. One set up nicely for the young winger. Really no shortage of power. Wasn't too far away. I don't think Woodham was reacting in time if it was on target. Woodham just long to the big target man, Hughes-Loop. He does his job and wins it. The path of Quayle though. Hess. Reaches Lewis. Lewis to Ludford. Ludford waits. This is the option. And sells Darcy Hall really short. Muller chipped in there, forced the turnover. Plays a 1-2 with Kurt Engels, but lost to cover was the ever-reliable Kobe Kemp. Pass went straight down the throat of Wayne Walsh though. He played it to Sherman, lobbed it over the top to Hughes-Loop, who was clearly offside. Just hadn't quite got back from the previous attack, the big frontman, and South Hobart will take over.
3-0 to the Devonport Strikers, all 3 goals to Braden Mann.
Well, I wrote in my preview last night the goals hadn't quite come for him yet, but appears the dam wall has burst. He has been very good so far this year. So
half an hour gone and he's got 3. Does he have 9 in him?
If he has 9 chances, there's every chance he has 9 in him.
Yeah. Walsh picks up the ball back here at Darcy Street. Forward from Fagg, finds Engels in all sorts of pressure, plays forward. Ludford clears into Fagg and out for a throw in and has some pointed directions to fly the way of his teammates up the pitch.
Just wanting them to present, I think. Got to come, he's straight. This one will fill nicely for Hess, who's in behind Walsh. It's not bad. Not really sure what's happened there, Gilly.
Here's a throw in. The ball might have just trickled out for Hess. Not 100% sure there, Drewster. Throw in. I didn't think the ball went out, but there we go. As the ball comes in from the hands of Walsh. Angles back for Walsh. Plays forward. One in the air by Kemp in the finish. Driven forward by South Hobart. Fag tunnelled into the back of by Lazinski. And it's a foul against the big ball former Zebra.
Lovely done there by Fag. Just got his body in the way of the ball. Knew that the contact would inevitably come. Very wily stuff from the centre half. Plays a nice pass in here for Hay. His pass wasn't the best for Walsh though, made him earn it. In the end, they forced the turnover, South Hobart. Here's Darcy Hall. Turner, back to Morton. Now Hall gets his head up and runs. Slides it through for Freddie Hess. He gets back onto his right foot. Oh, in the end, it was a pretty poor shot from him. Morton at the top of the box is pressured by Hay. Forces him to retreat back to Lewis. Lewis chips it forward. Looking for Hall. It might fall for the overlapping Farrell, who chips it to Lazinski. Oh,
good
great save, Woodham. Had his positioning right. The Frenchman just lobbed it up, sat it up nicely for the big fella to get there. He got a very good piece of it. In the end, the goalkeeper was strong to deny him. Well done, Alex Woodham. Had to be strong. Pair of hands there. Deny Lazinski. Second goal of the contest. Here is Sherman for Hugh Sloot. Played a nice 1-2 back to Sherman. Muller up to Toghill looking to get forward. Toghill lobs it into the box. Here's Engels turning onto his left. Shot had no real power behind it though, and Wilson can gallop. Good link-up play there from Sherman, Hugh Sloot, eventually Engels. They need to get those guys linking up a little bit more than we've seen early in the first 35 minutes of this one. Better signs for them as this one is again lobbed onto the head of Lazinski, but Moody convincingly wins onto the head of Hugh Sloot. Storming forward now is Morano. Well defended, his touch just showed a bit too much of it to the South Hobart defenders. Here's Jack Turner now. He's got plenty of space in the middle of the park. Turner looks up, sees a number of options. One of them's Lazinski. Big Albie holds it up and brings Nick Morton into the play. He's running at Hay, looks shoot, but isn't the best option. Easily blocked by Hay, and now Muller can take away from the Zebras. Laid it off to Toghill. Back to Muller. Here's Hugh Sloot. One though. And Lewis plays across to Ludford. Ludford to Farrell. Pass it around the back and eventually forced to retreat back to Wilson in goals. Rolls it out in front of Matthew Lewis. Hobart just content to slow the tempo down. They'll be pretty happy with their work so far. They know it's the Zebras who need to make the running in this game. They're the ones chasing it. 1-0 works just fine for them. Here is Ludford now. And very patient build up. Now they pull the trigger and go forward. Darcy Hall looking to get in behind. It's something they do really well. Lazinski gets forward, looks for that flick on, and Hess and Hall make those runs in behind. How many times have we seen that early days in the season lead to chances and goals for South Hobart?
A miscommunication there, but Hess comes out with it. Back for his defender in Lewis. Finds Quayle, but Moreno does well to rob him of it. Into the middle, to Muller, to Sherman. Back now for Fag. Lazinski coming into pressure. Squeezes out a ball, looking for Engels. Farrell right all over him. Sees it out.
So here's Turner. Unable to keep it in was Darcy Hall. His touch just a little bit heavy. Wayne Walsh with the throw. Towards Hugh Sloot, but had the distance on it. Sherman kept it nicely in the end. Walsh retreats back to Moody. Moody will shift it out to the left where Toghill is waiting. He's immediately pressured by Hess, so plays it into Hay. He's passed a little broadcast, and Quayle tips that one out of play. Aiden Hay. Toghill. Well to pressure him. Now Sherman. Sherman to Hugh Sloot. Might have given his defender a little push. Lazinski now on the end of the long ball. He'll look to play in Freddie Hess. Sets him a task. It's a foot race between Hess and Toghill. Toghill did well to get back to it first. Clearance from Woodham was poor. Straight to Big Albie. He looks up. Supposed to pull the trigger. Blocked by Moody. Thumped out of there. Lewis heads it into the middle. Oh, Sherman charges at that one. Got there first. Beat Kemp out. Here's Hay now. Lewis locked off the through ball, and it's going to come straight back South Hobart's way. This game really opening up in the last few minutes. End-to-end stuff. Here's Lazinski. Looks to work it in for Darcy Hall, but Woodham was alert and off his line and did well to shut it down there. With Lazinski, it was a pretty well-placed through ball. Almost found his man on the end of it.
Pump long from Woodham. Looking for angles. Farrell wins in the air. Down for Kemp. Let's receive it back, the Frenchman. Muller into it first. Walsh now to Hoogsloot. What can they create? Puts over the top for Engels. Bolts towards the goal. Lewis across. Very nicely to see it out of play for a corner. Zebras pile their big bodies forward. It'll be Moreno to whip this one in. Moreno from the right. Lofts in a ball to the back post. Moody stays down. It sits for Hay. You can find Muller at the top of the box. He drives. He's absolutely walloped that over the goal frame and into the neighbour's yard.
The trampoline, I think, Gilly. Fair to say he's slightly off target there, Muller. Hasn't really got a reputation as a long-range shooter. Very tidy pass through the ball, a hard worker in the middle of the park, but probably doesn't really have that string to his bow yet. Hard put on the ball now. They have settled a lot better though, you've got to say, Zebras, after a very shaky start. South still certainly shading it, but they're starting to give a little bit back now and create a few chances of their own. At least they're asking some questions of the South Hobart defence.
Exactly right, Farrell. Delivers forward for Lazinski. It's a little backheel flick from Hess, looking for Morton. Oh, Moody does terrifically well. Turns and dishes out, finds Muller, who finds Toghill, and now it's with Hoogsloot and the bullseye. They can stride forward, the Zebras through Hay. Chips over the top, looking for Muller, he's offside.
Yeah, just strayed there. Counter-attack though. Well and truly straight offside there though, Jordan Muller. And Wilson can take the goal kick, and he does so for Ludford. As the direct avenue, the overlapping run on the fullback Farrell, he nods it into the path of Hall, but it was well read by Henry Fagg to cut that out. Morano blocked. Oh, well done, Jaden Hay. Got in ahead of Turner, and he's off to the races. It's Hay surging forward. Quayle gets in his path, defended it really well. Engels still coming at them. Lashed a shot straight at Wilson. And some great play there by Hay in the midfield. A storming run between four red shirts. Liam Quayle again alert to the danger though. Just got in front of him. Just did enough to disrupt him. Engels was providing the option. Always up against it, trying to score from there. But good save from Wilson, but better signs. And Jaden Hay, real leader of this team. That's what he needs to do in the middle of the park. Those bursting runs, he's capable of it. He nearly found a way back into the game for the Zebras there. I know, with the corner near post, which Morton should have dealt with, but didn't get nearly enough of it. It rolls rather tepidly behind for another corner. Another bite at the cherry from Morano, who did not use his first one particularly well. We want to get a bit more elevation on this one. Hughes off as it goes to the back post and floats over Wilson's goal. Another one a little bit wasted there from Zebras. They've not had enough chances in the game to be wasting set pieces like this. Floating dangerously, but always over the top. Now finishing the half slightly stronger. South Hobart would be happy to go into the break with the score as is. Here's Quayle looking to get forward now, and just suddenly resorting to having to play the long direct game, South Hobart, whereas early on they had a lot of possession in the final third of Zebras. They settled on the ball a lot better after the one on.
Right on the shadows of half time now, Drewster and Zebras on top. The Zebras on top, South Hobart on top. Zebras well and truly behind. Though it's only one goal on the scoreline, which probably reflects them favourably after what was a real 10-minute onslaught to start the game where South Hobart probably could have put a couple in. Ball now with South Hobart. Down the line it comes. Off the chest of Hess. This is for Kemp, but unfortunately Hess has collected a little bit of Moreno. There'll be a foul against Alfred Hess. Maybe a late opportunity here for the Zebras as Sherman touches short for Toghill. Back for Sherman. Navigates around. Abby Lazinski finds Fag. Lofts one long onto the head of Hoogsloop. Flicks on looking for Moody. He's bombed on. He's nodded it. And it's over the bar. Oh, it looked like an equaliser for the Zebras. Moody in uncharted waters up top very nearly finds a square up for the Zebras.
Bombing forward. It's Moody. He's certainly not shy of charging up into the opposition area for a big centre half, and maybe could have done a little bit better there. Obviously a high degree of difficulty, but he's got a bit too much on it. But they finished this half very strongly, Zebras, and again they forced a turnover. This game's done a real 180. Muller, beautiful ball that to Anglesey, plenty of space. He looks up running at Ludford. He'll look to drive to the byline here, and Ludford did nicely, and in the end puts it behind for a corner despite the protests of the South players. Ingles is going to take this one quickly. Oh, that was a waste. Straight to Ludford. And Ludford will just launch it out of there. Sets Darcy Hall the task, but Fag should be across to deal with that pretty comfortably. He does, and Walsh showed too much of it to Hess. Fortunately in close proximity with Sherman. He got it to Hay. He set it across to Morano, who looked to end in Moody, who I don't know, it's like Sherman might have gone to centre back. And Moody's charging forward because he's certainly spending a lot of time in the opposition area all of a sudden.
And Moody's strolling back now, and they'll switch it up.
Certainly covering for each other. It's an interesting one.
Absolutely. I guess they're looking to use his physical presence and really overload South Hobart in that respect.
Here is Turner. Game has certainly shifted gears a little bit in the last 20 minutes. It's more the contest we expected. Rather aimless ball. I don't think Ken will be particularly pleased with these last 15 minutes. They've been a bit uninventive. It's just been kind of an immediate pass forward to Lazinski as the half-time whistle goes at 1-0. It was all South Hobart early. They were absolutely burying them in the first 20 minutes. The longer it wore on, Zebras got a foothold in the contest, and they started to create a few chances towards the end. South Hobart, early days, were doing a good job moving the ball around the pitch. Later on, first option too often was, I'm just going to stick it long. I'm just going to belt it to the big head of Lazinski, who's done some very work, but you don't want to be doing that every time. I feel like they've fallen into that trap a little bit. It was working well early, but it was working well because it wasn't the first option. They were waiting for it, seeing what else is there, and then using it as an outlet. Now, every time the centre-backs are getting the ball, they're just lobbing it long. If you have a look, just a total breakdown of communication at the back is what has the score at 1-0. That was just 10 seconds into the game. Jack Turner, thank you very much. An absolute gift from the Zebras. So it has remained. There have been a few chances since. The score remains at 1-0. Zebras, they grew into the contest. I think we'll probably head into the second half just feeling that they can get something out of this. There's a game to be won. South Hobart didn't get that second goal early that perhaps their dominance deserved, and as such,
they didn't land the killer blow, that's for sure, Drewster. And as you said, that early, probably 10 to 12 minute pack where they were just all over them, didn't capitalise on that. And they've left the door ajar and played on in the piece, that's for sure. Zebras clawed their way back into it. Looked good, didn't they? And they very nearly could have equalised. Just a touch over the bar was Moody, but yeah, I think Zebras starting to find their groove, and they'll go into the sheds quite confident that they can get a result from this.
I think a lot of it stems from the battle in midfield. It was all South Hobart early. Later in the half, we saw Jaden Hay really start to take control. Sherman's work's been really good. He's been really setting the tempo. He's been flying in for tackles, hustling, working hard. He's been good in there, and you've got to say that Hay has had a couple of great bursting moments. They just started to win the midfield battle a little more, and they started to craft more chances. And I think the last 15 minutes has probably more the type of game we expected than one-way street it was early on. We'll be back soon, I'd imagine, with the second half.
We would just have a little bit of a breather. I'm just going to double check for an update from Lightwood Park. I'm pretty sure it's 3-0 at the break. Braden Mann with all three. Just double check that. It appears so. So half time from Lightwood Park. 3-0 to the travelling Devonport Strikers, all three from probably the state's leading marksman in Braden Mann. And here at Darcy Street, South Hobart 1, Hobart Zebras 0. The goal coming in the first minute, some 15 seconds in through Jack Turner. We'll leave you with some of the highlights from a frenetic opening half.
back for the second half here at Darcy Street. I'm Andrew calling it. Joining me as ever, Damien Gill, and we've got a pretty interesting second half coming your way. South Hobart ran the game early on. They got ahead thanks to a real catastrophe 10 seconds in.
That was a howl.
The longer the game wore on, the more the Zebras got into it. And I think halftime probably came at a good moment there for South Hobart. I reckon Ken Morton would have had a few stern words for them, despite the fact they went in with a 1-0 lead, Gilly.
It seems so often Zebras seem to do stuff like that in big games. It was like they didn't come out of the sheds to start the half. It was bizarre, to be honest, Rooster, because you honestly have to watch the goal to believe it. Dwayne Walsh just sort of knocked in a pretty standard sort of pass in defence, and neither central defender went to claim it, and Turner said thank you very much, and that's all that separates the sides. The Zebras kick off this second half, comes wide for Engels, skipper lets it run, finds Muller, inside he looks, he picks out Sherman, it bobbles off his boot, but he's in the bullseye. Oh, can't beat Kemp as he gets a foot in and it's out for the Lightning. Darcy Hall keeps it alive, gets inside of Walsh, he treads on it enough to hold up for an instant at least, as Kemp almost gets around Sherman, steals it off him. Walsh picks it up. Fag heaves clear, long and strong it goes. One in the air by Ludford, ahead of Hoogsloop. Nudges it into the path of Farrell, down the line. Moreno's there to battle with him. Wins out for the black and white stripes. And Walsh more or less just helps it out. And it's a throw in now. Start this second half. Farrell to bring it in for South Hobart.
Walsh got his head to it. Rano played it to Hay. He returned it, and Rano played it down the line to no one in particular. Throw in Farrell. Love. Actually, it comes back to Kemp. Lewis. Think about sending it out to the right for his young fullback Quayle. Instead goes directly on the middle again to Lazinski, who flicks on, but he had no one in support there. Kemp lost out there, he'll deal with Hughes-Loop. It falls the way of Muller. He spreads it to Engels, plays an immediate first time cross to Hughes-Loops. Oh, he got the long legs outstretched there, got a good piece of it, but just wide. What a cracking ball that was from Kurt Engels. Pinpoint stuff from long range there. Hughes-Loop, those long levers just extended them damn near leveled this game up. Warning shot across the bows of South Hobart there again. It's long and direct. And there to Lazinski. Moody wins it. Hay flicks on for Engels. This could be a real feature of their play. They're looking to feed Engels. Stood up here by Hess. Wins it centrally to Sherman. Spreads it right. Moreno do here. Farrell for company, and he puts it into touch. He's quiet in the first half, Moreno. He's an electric player when he gets going. I'd certainly like to see a bit more of him, as we see they warming up on the sidelines. Certainly an option for Hay. Throw into the contest. If you inject last year's side's leading marksman into the contest. The throw will come from Hay. Hughes-Loop the target, floats over his head, Turner rises. Muller gets a piece of it. Hughes-Loop couldn't quite get to the ball, and in the end, a shirt tugging and a foul is given against the Zebs. Wilson takes it quickly to Loic Farrell.
Interesting to see, sorry to interrupt, Rooster, that they've moved Engels onto Quayle's wing.
Yep.
Obviously identifying somewhere there. Farrell probably had Engels' number in the first half, you've got to say.
Yeah, Quayle's been really good, but he does love to bomb forward, so perhaps a bit more space might be found in behind. And immediately Engels created that chance for Hughes-Loop, breaking left foot pass. Moody demands a run from him. In the end, out Lewis. Turner's ball wasn't the best for Hess, and he flicked it on for Lazinski, but he's not really the type who's going to charge that one down. Woodham reload back. It's Fag. He goes long down the line, looking for Hay. Farrell won it. Direct style being employed by both teams. That's a beautiful ball by Turner. Will it stay in play for Darcy Hall? Will gets up and looks to run. Cross in for Lazinski, who goes the first time volley. That was, well, a bit ambitious from the big fella. Might have been better served just a take a touch here. He had 2 men in the box, but tried to launch the volley. And his control was simply not there. So a very open start to the second half. Teams looking to get the ball forward quickly.
Comes along over the head of Hoogsloop. It's snuffed out by Ludford, and Muller runs it out of play off Farrell, and it's out for a throw-in as Walsh finds Sherman. Knocks for Walsh, and he helps it out of Hall, so Zebras hold on to it as it comes along for Hoogsloop. Off his chest, is picked up from Turner. The big Bullock-in midfielder races away, finds his target man in Lazinski, sweeps wide to the right, finds Hess. He looks to return the favour and dip a ball over the top for Lazinski. Bobbles up on him as he looks to cut in. Lays back now for Hall. He's got a bit of time and space. What will he do? He takes the early strike and is wide and doesn't test Woodham. And Zebras escape.
A heap of space at the top of the area there. Darcy Hall, but couldn't get his shot on target. S's ball to Lazinski to start the move. Absolutely superb stuff there. One of the most improved players in the state is Woodham. There's a heart and mouth moment. These clearers go straight to Big Halby. His touch was heavy though, and Fag was there. It's going to come straight back at them though. Then Fag looks to repel. Held in by Farrell. This time, it's Sherman tracking back to clear the area. Kemp has it across to Farrell. Dangerous moments there. Farrell's gone quiet, but not one man who stands out above all else. Shawnee Togs urging his side to hold firm here at the back here, and Lazinski might force the turnover. It was a pretty poor touch from Fag, and now the cross comes in, and it's absolutely buried by Freddie Hess. Players get got up in the box, put it on a platter for Hess, and Freddie Hess makes it 2-0 with a very collected finish. Lazinski with some bullocking work. Tolkiel just wasn't tight enough to the fullback, and really no one tracked the run of Hess into the box, and he put it top corner. 2-0, big blow that, and they start the first half as they did, start the second half as they did the first half rather, with a goal. And you just wonder, will that knock the wind out of the sails of the Zebs a little bit? Big Lazinski wreaking havoc in the opposition box once again. Soft turnover. The start of this half just starting to play out a bit as the first half was really. They're getting pushed back by the press of South Hobart. They force turnovers, and it's forced a second goal, and they might look to make it 3 here as Darcy Hall to get in down the left-hand side, but well defended. And they end up winning the throw, the Zebras. 2-0, it's going to be a tough margin for them to overcome. Certainly at 1-0, they were every chance of getting right back into it, but got a mountain to climb now here on the road at Darcy Street. Vernon melted into the path of Muller. Well, his pass was poor though, goes out of play. Farrell takes the throw. He worked, Walsh underneath it, and Hall looks to turn the bag. Eventually Moody clears onto the head of Hughes-Loop, did well, but he left it for Muller. He offered himself again. Now to get the ball back. Wilson wants quailed off and short. A bit further downfield to Morton. It was a good ball. He's one in the direction of Freddie Hess, so get on the end of it.
So Drew making you do the heavy lifting there. Just need to update the blog as it comes through for Hoogsloop. He lays out for Engels. Ball out in front of Moreno. Oh, it's a horrible effort from Wilson. I think he's handled it outside the area in the finish. It just slipped away from his gloves, and he's invited a bit of pressure on the South Hobart here. As we see here, it just slipped away from him, bobbled up. He's handled it outside the area, so it'll be a free kick in a promising position for the Zebras.
Yeah, just a real fumble there. Just a soft one for a moment. Wilson. This is a chance for the Zebras to strike back immediately. Real gift of an opportunity. Under no real pressure there, Wilson just fumbled it. And went to recover it, and he strayed, so A real good chance for Zebras, and they send plenty of bodies forward here. Uselet and Moody, a couple of targets to aim for. The Yengel grinder standing over the ball. The left foot. Will he curl it in, or will he try a shot himself? What's he do? He plays it straight to Wilson's near post. Might have been alright if someone was making the run there, but I don't think anyone gambled on it. Have a look. No one there. No real threat. Muller wins the ball back in midfield. The Zebras plays it back to Walsh. Walsh to Fag. He has to get rid of it quick, and he does. Chips one down the field, but Quayle leads back. Oh, he sent Wilson to task there. Did pretty well there, the keeper Wilson, under tough circumstances. Gather the ball and clear it. Sold into all sorts of trouble by Quayle. A substitution. It's like Adam Yoon is going to come on for Rano, who hasn't had a big impact on the contest today. Easy as we've seen him in recent weeks. So it's a quick change here with a 2-0 deficit. No real surprise. So what can Sunday do here? Or Easter Monday. He'll be itching just to put a bit of fire in his belly, perhaps. He'll operate up top alongside a Hughes-Luke. Long throw is going to come from Engels, and he heaves it in the Hughes-Luke direction. Too much on the end of that throw, and it bounces over the line quite threatlessly. Wilson can take the goal kick. He does so quickly in the direction of the Frenchman, Corral. Hughes-Luke immediately across to him. Here's Turner. Pressing good here from the Zebras, and they force a turnover. Hughes-Luke plays it in. The substitute, McKeown. Turner did really well to stand him up and win the ball. Plays it down to Blake Farrell. He punches it down the line in the direction of Kemp. Wants to deal with that is Sherman, and in no uncertain terms, he's about a block away. Launch it out of there. Lazinski now. Farrell picks up and chips it in the Freddie Hess direction. Moody across to deal with that though. Got it out of play. Ends up moving it in, so done by Henry Moody. Took a deflection, so wins the throw. So it's good play by the big centre half there. Walsh throw from Zebras. Goes down the line, flicked on by Hay in the Hughes-Luke direction. Well to keep it in, but his pass, he couldn't get his boot round it enough and play it up the line there for Adam McCown. Here is Obi Kemp in the middle of the park. Played a nice pass for Hess. He slid it across for Morton. Morton crosses for Lazinski. It was well done by Fag, and they get it out. Muller plays with it in dangerous areas, and Sherman gets a little shoulder check, but the referee says play on. Ball drops it off for Hess. So about just slowing the tempo here, carefully probing. Turner's pass is broken up by Sherman, who copped a whack for his troubles after it. Still play on though. Can't quite clear the area. Surely they will this time, and they do. Muller, oh, it's going to come right back at them, but Ludford had used his hand.
A bit unlucky there for Ludford. Did well to get front position, was just bobbled up on him. Played out wide, find Hay, who's sort of more or less jumped in and out of this contest, hasn't he, in terms of influence. Hughes-Luke gets involved. It's a nice ball through to McEwen. He spins and misses anyway, so it was all in vain, but it's offside regardless. McEwen might be looking at the linesman with a nice little smile for once. Never offside is McEwen, but I reckon he's probably feeling pretty grateful he was on that occasion because he hashed the effort.
Hard work.
Yeah.
Set the chance for himself and then missed the target.
Did indeed, as it comes from Wilson out to left, finds Kemp. The midfielder picks out Morton. Long over the top, and it's a perfect ball for Lazinski. If he can track it down, he does, just as it looks to cross the line. He lays back for Farrell. He looked to deliver in from the left peg. Cut off from Toghill, and not out of danger yet as Turner looks to run it down. It's won by Engels. He just skies a ball long and high. McEwen wins in the air, but it's straight into the arms of James Wilson. Throws out for Quayle. It's inside. Opts to go down the wing. Finds Hess. Wins the ball for South Hobart. Quayle down the line again. Hall with Moody meeting it first. An unconvincing clearing effort. This one's a bit better, but it's still alive for South Hobart. Good body position for Quayle. Not so good, says Brenton Copra, as he blows his whistle. He judges it a foul against the young fullback. Taken quickly from Zebras. 1-2 attempt, snuffed out by Morton, and it's out for throw-in. Down the line, into the boot of McEwen. Quayle jumps in. Engels looks to pick it up. It's in a South Hobart sandwich. It's out of play. Zebras gain a yard or two down this left-hand side. Picked up from Coghill. One well by Muller. Scoop long and high. Looking for Hay on the right-hand side was Moody. Turner now, and he's all go. Looks out on the left. He's got Walsh for company. Has to retreat a little bit. Well done by Walsh, keeping him honest on that occasion. Back they go for Ludford. It's out Farrell. Hines, Turner. Over the top looking for Lazinski. Moody shields it well, and Woodham collects. Well, he's put Toghill right under the pump, but he spins and finds Muller with great effect. Kemp runs in, wins it for South Hobart. Hess beats Toghill to it, a slide to try and prevent him from Toghill. Swept across from Hess, it's cut off from Moody. Morton gives and goes, it's with Kemp now. Cut off from Fag, but they're still going South Hobart. And it's Hall who rockets the strike, well wide and high to the right.
There's some lovely build-up into play there, set the chance up. Easy effort there from Darcy Hall. Wasn't too far away. And Freddie Hess really causing problems. Zebras defence got him behind Toghill there. His wasn't quite there, but game Hess. Ludford pumps it forward. Toghill waiting for it. It's into the path of Muller. Play it back to Toghill. Toghill was a direct shot, but Ludford was there. It was. Here is Farrell. Sold short there a little bit by Darcy Hall. Spill over the line, it does. It'll be a Zebras ball. A little lazy there in the middle from South. Real pressure to force the turnover. Charging forward here is Fag, but Farrell broke that up, and now they might be vulnerable the other way with Fag out of position. Laid off for Albie Lazinski. He looks to turn the corner, the big fella. Takes a deflection into the path of Hess. He looked to flick on. Toghill does well to stick with him. Lays it back now for Quayle. Lazinski offering short, goes deeper for Morton, takes a touch. And Sherman a track back to cover. And they clear the area. Here's Hay, been quiet in the second half. Forced the foul here. Needs to really stamp himself on this contest. The best 15 minutes of the game were that 30 to 45 minute period of the first half when Hay was having a profound impact on the contest. Dag plays it to Sherman. Sherman back to Moody. Moody will go direct. No one there, and it floats over the South Hobart defensive line. Straight to Wilson, who flicks it up to himself. No rush to get things moving with a 2-0 lead here in the Lakoseljac Cup quarterfinals. FA Cup qualifiers in addition to the silverware, and as it sits, South Hobart with 1 foot in the semi-final. Here is Toghill charging forward now. A little bit of guile to put the pass through to McEwen. He laid it off for Engels, who chips one, but Wilson should take this. And he does. Hugheslet was arriving, and it's a furious pace, but the keeper was always favoured. He did well. Touched that one out of the air and now launches it long. Go over the head of Fag. Should go to his opposing goalkeeper, Woodford, who can lay it off. Moody will take over in the heart of defence.
Moody now rolls and strolls and plays long, looking for McEwen. He finds him. But unfortunately, McEwen had done all the hard work, and then it ran off his boot and out of play. Quayle to Morton, flicked on perfectly by Lazinski. Woodham wise to it, out of his box. In all sorts of strife now, squeezes it out, but they're on for a shot. Lazinski spins and turns and fires. Was to catch Woodham off guard, but he was back by that time.
Just clear the area when you're a keeper there. I think trying to get a bit fancy there, Woodham. I think the agricultural effort was probably all that was needed. Just thump the ball as far from the vicinity as you possibly can. draw to come off his line and just got a little bit cute trying to play it out. Here's Freddie Hess. He plays it through for Nick Morton, who's in acres of space on this right-hand side. He storms into the box, looks to set up Lazinski. And did he handle that one, Fag? There are appeals for it. Referee says play on. The ball was not quite where Lazinski wanted it. Some suspicions of handball. We might get a replay later. Here's Muller in the middle of the park. Ball's to Sherman. He looks up. He's got a bursting run being offered by McEwen. Can he pick him out? Try to, but Lewis was awake to the danger and cut it out nicely. Salute hits the deck. Referee tells him to get up. Ludford launches to the head of Lazinski. He got a little bit of a push in the back from Moody. That wasn't seen, and play still goes on. I think everyone was expecting it to be blown. It wasn't. He's Morton with plenty of time, more time than he needed, I think, and he outthought himself in the end and had a poor pass. Sunday's clattered into by Lewis. Hugh Salute works it off Ludford. It'll be a throw in a deep area there, but furious couple of minutes of action there where there are fouls that like they might get blown up. The referee is said play on, but they're certainly consistent at any rate. As Engels will again look to give the old heave-ho into the box here. The tactic of the Zebras all day. He launches it centrally. It was a great throw from Engels. It goes over all the bodies. And none too convincing clearance though. Might still have them in danger. Turner gets there ahead of Hughes. Engels now there. Turner again. And in the end he infringes. Just a little bit overzealous there, Jack Turner. The angle grinder with another set-piece opportunity for the Zebs.
An update from down the highway. 4-0 to Devonport over the Kingborough Lions, and a fourth to Braden Mann.
Having some sort of day.
I reckon he'll be annoyed that these don't count in the Golden Boot. As Engels over it on the left wing. It's a tame-looking bouncing ball to the front post off the shins of Fag and out of play. Be disappointed about that, the Zebras.
Set-piece, I suppose the use from set pieces hasn't been great today, Zebras. They've had a few good chances in advanced areas, but haven't quite tested Wilson or the centre halves enough for their delivery into the area. Too often they've gone to try and roll it in these near post plays, and South Hobart have been pretty comfortable in dealing with that. Wilson again will launch to Big Lazinski. A lot of it. His flick on. Engels pressured by Morton. Lazinski gets in ahead of Muller, threw his body in the way. He did well, the big fella. Morton is clattered into there, and that's a pretty easy foul to be given. Not even a slice of cheese given. Just a foul. No reason that. Toggy was just a little bit late stepping in to block him off there. I think he knew what he was doing. Morton stays down, but he should be right. Wasn't too much in it, I don't think.
About 25 minutes gone, also up at Ulverston, 0-0 between Ulverston and Somerset. Of course, one of those two into the semi-finals. The draw favoured them, very favourable for them. But good to have one of those underdog stories, at least one in the Final Four, as it's lofted long into the box from Kobe Kemp. One in the air by Hoogsley, sits for Hall. He does well to steady on the left after immediately lunging in and getting himself in an awkward position. The ball's out of play.
Lost his footing at the wrong moment there. But yeah, great to see a Northern Premier League team. One of
the cry from handball a little bit earlier.
Big Moody blocking our view there.
Yeah, no, but it didn't look, of what you could see, it didn't appear to be. Throwing now, it's Quayle, or is it Ludford? Ludford long into the box, it sits for Hess, he can't get anything on it. Comes over the top for Toghill, who just scoops clear, out for Hoogsley, can't bring it under his spell. Kemp for Ludford, and now for Errol. Nips inside and finds Hall. Drops it back looking for his skipper, it's cut off from Hay. Wraps his boot around it, a long searching ball, looking for McEwen. It's cut off and it's with Muller. They hustle and bustle in midfield. Kemp back to help out, and then Farrell turns and flicks on, looking for Lazinski. Cut off from Fag, who just more or less clatters into the back of Albie Lazinski and gives possession back to the hosts, South Hobart.
Amount of work up top again today, the big fella. They've certainly not been shy of sticking the ball on his head. Yes, this time feeds his feet and he spreads it out to the left. The roll is overlapping. Plays it back to Jack Turner. Pretty good game today, Turner. See what a goal can do for confidence. It's the ball here though. Hugh Salute Let it run. McEwen plays it in. This is breaking nicely. Can Hay pick out a body in the middle? Oh, wrong option. He had two men coming up in support. He had Hughes, Luton, Engels joining McEwen in attack. Ghosting him behind the centre backs. He played the first time ball. In the end, Wilson was able to deal with it. But if he had just held on to it, he had two men whose feet he could hit from behind. Lewis beats out McEwen. Engels the next to fly in. Bodies flying about the pitch. Hughes-Luton always favoured to beat Kemp. Ludford cuts that out. Only as far as Sherman. Sherman across here now to Walsh. The big Dwayne Pye. Looks up. Chips it into the area onto the head of Hughes-Luton, but Lewis led him to it. Yes. Beats out Engels. Now Tolkiel. A lot of aerial ping pong and hitting duels going on area at the moment. Not the prettiest football you'll ever see. Sherman lays it back. Big Moody. Now here's Tolkiel. Locked off and it'll go out the back again. They're not really looking particularly threatening in attack here, Zebras. They've got 20 minutes to find 2 goals and it's just hard to see where they're going to come from at the moment.
5-0 now to the Devonport Strikers. An own goal this time.
Good man, force it.
He'll claim it. We saw him claim an own goal the other day. It comes in the bullseye from Sherman to Walsh. They've really got to get going now, the Zebras, if they're any sniff. Ace slips as he looks to meet it, and Farrell says thank you very much. Puts it down the left channel. Straight for Fag, though, in black and white. On Sherman, who's trying to have his stamp on this contest. They need someone to step up. Might be time for another change. I'm not sure who else they've got at their disposal, the Zebras, but something's got to give. Wilson, bring it back into play. Driven long and high. Lazinski contesting with Fag. One down from Sherman. There for Hay. Can he use his pace? He puts it into the middle. It's there for Hughes-Luton. He meets it with a head, but it's wide. And to safety. It's a promising looking build-up, but Hughes-Luton couldn't get his header on target. Well lofted in from Hay. Good piece of it too, Hughes-Luton, but always going wide.
Hasn't quite been his day, the big fella up top. Really all right for his day. He's fought hard in the air, had a lot of support. Been able to do a lot with the limited supply he has had. Frustrating afternoon for the big front man. In the switch from University, who of course play Olympia later on this afternoon at Warrior Park. In the final of the 4 Lakoseljac Cup quarterfinals as Lazinski just rolls it beautifully and plays it into the path of Hall, gets a piece on it, but Woodham did well to block him. Lovely play again from Lazinski, this time created it on the wing. Almost played in Darcy Hall. Ball won't stay in, and Quayle will take the throw. Here's Nick Morton. Kobe Kemp. Another lazy pass back to Nick Morton, which is turned over. Now Dwayne Walsh looks to surge forward, but Darcy Hall fighting back the other way. Well done, Darcy Hall. He's hustling hard. Well read by Sherman, though. And flying in and put it out of play. Fortunately, it's back the other way that the problems are for Zebras. They've defended pretty well. Had very little of an attacking threat in the second half. Roll. Now turn, lunging for an Engels. Hovering, oh, well done, Quayle. Hold the ball. Our Fox's defender there. Hess plays it in for Lazinski. Looks to turn. Moody plays it centrally for Morton instead. He shifts it in for Hess. Did well to play it through for Lazinski. Big Albie gets his boot around it. And eventually it's bundled over the line by Walsh. The ball went missing for a moment there. It was hammered across the face of goal there. Big Albie. Woodham flicks off a couple of bodies in the end. Wayne Walsh probably the one who saved the day. Corner. Kobe Kemp is in absolutely no rush to take. 17 minutes remaining in this contest. Sitting on a 2-goal lead. Going to take every second they can, as well they should. Morton offering short for him. He goes that option. Nick Morton now. He's got 2 goes to front. He lobs it into the area, well away by Fag. Engels looks to lead the counter-attack, but his touch was very heavy, straight to Matthew Lewis. He goes back to Lloyd Farrell. Farrell Lazinski flicked on, but Ludford was coming back from an offside position, so couldn't compete for the ball. Fag will gather. He wants to play the short pass to Tolkill, and does, who now goes in ball to Sherman. Looks to get around Morton, not an easy ask, and just enough to put him off. Lazinski's flick is blocked by Moody. He's dangerous. Lazinski now with a pocket of space in the area. Lazinski! Smashed it just wide of the post, Big Albie. He's been a constant menace, the big fella. And almost found a goal there. He hammered the shot, and that is not far wide from him. Another stellar display. Albie Lazinski has another substitution in the offing for the Zebras. Jordan Muller coming off. Who's coming on for him here? At the end of Muller's day. Stewart coming on for Muller. 7 he'll play in a more advanced position, you'd imagine. Looks like he's heading straight out to the right. 4-2-4 at the moment, it looks like. Here's Walsh, Sherman, Stewart, and just on. His involvement is to lay it back to Sherman, who's pass takes a deflection out off Hall. Huxley looks to turn Turner, but he lost out. He's been good today, Jack Turner. Again, I've put the mods on him, so that wasn't a great follow-up effort. Scything through the midfield now is Henry Fagg. We haven't seen a lot of that today. The centre-back, Hartlett's been the one who's got involved a couple of times. More of a traditional stay-at-home defender. Here's Fagg. Walsh will throw it back to him. Sherman. What plays a striker, but has operated as a defensive midfield role today. Goes across to Hay, who's not had enough influence in the second half. He gets himself into all sorts of trouble there with Kemp and Nick Morton surrounding him, and he turns the ball over. South Hobart will again be in no rush to take the set piece.
Tough to see Zebras winning this one, or at least pushing it beyond 90 minutes. Looks pretty well done and dusted. There's Lewis, plays it long, Moody out with his big frame, heads it clear. Lewis again, great body position on McEwen, finds Kemp. For Morton now, long, loopy ball into the box. Walsh, first to me, he'll just watch it trickle across his byline and out for his goalkeeper. Kick back in. Got to get moving here, the Zebras. 77 minutes kicks by now.
Give a lot of credit to Lewis and Ludford, I think.
Lewis in particular for me has had a really, really good afternoon. Ludford, of course, as well. Can't expect Ludford always right place, right time. As we might have just put the mockers on him as McEwen finds a bit of space on the left side. His ball, though, is it up to standard and easily collected by Wilson. He milks the clock, throws long, finds Farrell. He's closed down by Stewart, knocks inside, can't quite pick out Turner, and they wrestle to Turner and Walsh. A good, fair contest out there, and Turner wins out in the end, despite looking like he was going to lose it for about 80% of it. Turner again knocks it out of Walsh and out for another throw in. Look at this. A real good, honest battle. Looked like Walsh had him here. The bobble off the shin of Walsh might have been his undoing. It's Morton picks it up for Turner. The Farrell faked out of it by Walsh, and Black with the back with the black and white as it's running down the line from Hoogs Loop. Stewart looks to power away, nips inside. Hoogs Loop on the ball. He's found a bit of space. He hasn't found much all day. Puts it back to the penalty spot. No one home in black and white, all red, sea of red, and they're with the. They look to build an attack now to South Hobart. Morton now in midfield. He's got Kemp if he wants him. Will eventually find him. Races out in front of Kemp, the youngster. Get by Toghill. Toghill gets a boot in. It's still there for him though, Kemp. Toghill shields the ball nicely and finds Moody. Nice bit of work from the fullback. Ball's for Morton now. I don't know whether there's a cross or a shot, but neither worked to great effect as Sherman blocked it, and they're away now, the Zebras, as McEwen puts it long for Stewart, looks to use his wheels, and Farrell guides it out of play and out for a throw-in. Deep in the Hobart Zebras attack.
Really beaten is Luke Farrell. Very tough man to get in behind. Always seems to be tracking back and getting his foot in to the right time. Very organised South Hobart defence that has presented themselves to the Zebras today. They've struggled to break them down. Big salute here. Lays it off the Walsh. That's a good cross. Well done, Quayle. It falls to Hay, who looks to smash it with his left foot from range, but shinned it rather poorly, and it sprays rather wide there. It was a great cross from Walsh. Curl and on it. Rather optimistic effort there from Jaden Hay. Wilson again with the goal kick at 10 minutes remaining. 2-0. 5-0 Devonport in the other game. All up north. And Olympia taking on at University after this one. Below the live blogs on Slice of Cheese. Those contests. Here's Lazinski. Morton did well. Nipped in front of two defenders. In the end, credit to Henry Fags. Stuck tight to him, won the ball, and just infringed eventually. Darcy Hall now. To play in the overlapping fullback Farrell, but across with Stewart to put it into touch. Perfectly timed challenge there. Deny the Frenchman.
Looks like they're preparing a change, South Hobart. Alex Walter just getting some directions from Nick Napola there on the bench, the South Hobart assistant. Throwing now from Farrell. It's Turner who's chopped down. It'll be another set piece opportunity for South Hobart. Dangerous area. Third goal would well and truly put this one to bed.
If she isn't already. Hard to see where 2 goals. I suppose the Summer Cup final was a similar situation. They were struck twice late. Never say never, but they certainly aren't looking particularly likely the Zebras. Third goal certainly would kill the contest. Look to whip this one in. Lazinski at the near post to target, but huge salute. Rose well, headed away for Raul. Again for Lazinski, but Rim blocks that away. Pass out from the back. An ideal situation with the massive bodies there. Stewart beaten to it by Hall. Darcy Hall gets up, cuts inside. Did beautifully there, got through the legs of Sherman, and then the end product was simply lacking. That'll be a goal kick for the Zebs.
Darcy Hall's had a good afternoon. Really creative force in South Hobart side, relishing a more settled position in this starting team. In previous years he's had to fight with the likes of Andy Brennan, Chris Hunt, but he looks home in this starting 11 now. Kemp picks it up, lofts over the defensive line of the Zebras. Hess there to race onto it. Dog Hill pushes it out of play. Or does he? Must come off Hess last because it is a Hobart Zebras goal kick as we tick into the 83rd minute. Time really a major enemy of the Zebras as well as stern South Hobart defence. Comes long from Woodham's boot. Moody heads on. So does Engels, and then Lewis helps it out. Throwing now. Engels looks inside. Not a lot on offering here. Goes down the line looking for McEwen, and Whale nods it. Unfortunately for the young South Hobart defender, gives Zebras an opportunity from the corner.
Yeah, around mistake there from Quayle. He's flying to the box for Zebras. Surging there. Hughes Luke fighting to get to the front. Away by Jack Turner. He's won a number of those headers in set pieces today, Jack Turner. Here's Hay, looks to cut to the byline. Morton went in hard. He beat one, beat two, then centres. Oh, and it was led to run by Fag, but there's no one in behind, and Lazinski will launch it long, but it won't stay in. The running Darcy Hall, and I think it's a relief. Matthias Stogler will take the throw in. Substitution will now be made. Alex Walker coming on. Looks like Freddie Hess will be the man to come off for him. Another good showing from Hess today. He scored the second goal in the contest, and as usual, despite the fact 83 minutes, he's absolutely run his socks off. He looks like he's got up out of bed. He's fresh as a daisy, that lad. He is the best man in the league, just about, I reckon. Nice flick on. Lewis first to it, hacks it out of there. Straight to Walsh, who's got to retreat back to Woodham. Ball will pressure him, and horses are rather rushed. Clearance. Didn't settle for him. He's belted it straight out of play. So good pressure by Darcy Hall there. Still working hard. Oh, he's got him behind Walsh here, has he? Sherman across. Batted through, but got a piece of the ball. Well, Turner won the ball, but his touch was really heavy. Only a couple of minutes. McEwen, he turns. Hemp for company. He goes back inside and waits for support. Oh, Matthew Lewis says it. That was Kobe Kemp. All read by the youngster in there. And in the end, the foul will stop that play in its tracks. South Hobart will lead up some time as A is down and on his knee.
It was a meaty challenge. Real vicious coming together.
He's all right though, thankfully. Oh no, he's trying to get up and gone immediately back down.
He's going to struggle, I think, here. He's going to need a change because it was Lazinski that came in. They both went to kick the ball, and it's fair to say Lazinski has a little more weight behind him than Jaden Hay.
He's up on his feet now. Twice he's got back up and immediately hobbled. Yeah, nasty. Came down on top of it too. Struggling to walk here. He can't walk off. So this is shocking to see here. Well, the stars of the competition, Jaden Hay, and he looks in real pain with that knee. Real disappointing way to end. It's been a pretty dark day already for Zebs, and they're calling for the stretcher. So we hope this is nothing long term.
Absolutely. He's going to try again to get up. Probably not the wisest. Quick update from down the highway. It's now 7-0 to Devonport Strikers over Kimber Lions. Both goals to Braden Mann. So he has scored 6.
6. Oh, score another one.
There we go, 7-1. Downs with a penalty. So 7-1.
Braden, so we can use the old 7th Heaven headline. Hit 6, I suppose, is what we're with at the moment. The stop-stand guys are getting inserted whenever these things happen. I look for them on Slice of Cheese in today's match reports. He's going to be stretched off. Yeah, maybe a bit more courage and sense in the end, trying to walk off a couple of times. I hope he's all right. He really was struggling, and he is a genuine superstar of this competition. A massive blow for his side if he was to miss any extended time, of course. Zebras had a wretched run of injuries last season, really derailed their year after quite a strong start. I hate to see that happen again. Stoppers here. Long stretcher win. Hope nothing long term here. Jaden. Both teams just using this as a moment. A bit of a breather. Jaden Hay off the field here. And we hope that we do see him again soon. This is the last time we've seen him in a while. He is a star, but that did look pretty nasty. Tried to walk off him twice and just couldn't.
Who replaced him? Oh no, is anyone out there? Yeah, Callan Griffin. Callan Griffin, he'll provide some energy late on. But yeah, it was a vicious coming together of two players really just dead keen on getting the ball. There's nothing untoward in it. It was just second best up against a big unit. And Alex Lazinski is Zebras. Scurry it clear from their defence. They've got a heap of work to do here. Engels does well, wins the ball. But it looked like he wouldn't. Throwing now. Down the line from Engels, a long throw off the head of McEwen. Headed clear from Lewis, sits for Griffin, and he takes a strike, but it's well wide and doesn't test James Wilson.
It would have been some impact if he just smashed in a volley from 25 yards, 30 seconds after strolling onto the pitch. Cup quarter final. Likely. This time, misjudged a little bit. Fag wins it away. He wins the header down to Hugh Salute. It's a play throw from McEwen, but he wasn't making the run, and hasn't been his day. Big Lukey Hugh up top. Fantastic player on song, but hasn't quite clicked for many of the Zebras attackers today. This one hammered along away by Tokyo. Engels wins the head up. Sherman and Lazinski, two solid units come together there in the midfield. And it goes back to Woodham. It's a little bit heavy. Plenty of time though. Now here's Moody, who looks to take on Ludford. Ludford just flicks it out of there, easy as you like. Wick Ferrell. Now to Wayne Walsh. Going to be one back by Jack Turner. He's done well there. Griffin comes in for a second bite, and Turner, as Morton gets fouled. That'll be a slice of cheese for Henry Fagg for his troubles. To be kicked in for stoppage time, you'd imagine there'd be 5 or 6 minutes after the standard stoppage we just had. Jaden Hayes, a replay of this one. Morton, very late on him there was Fagg. Very late. Bit of frustration perhaps coming out from the centre half. At the office once again. They're going to fall short of the game. Here's Walter just off the bench. Wasn't a particularly good touch. Woodham always favoured by it. At the goal kick. Heavy from Walter as in addition to a bit of injury time, looks like we're going to get a bit of hammer time. Benjamin Hamlet warming up for his few minutes at the end.
Yeah. Just a little cherry on top of this one. An update from Ulverston, half-time there. Ulverston leads Somerset 1-0. So the Reds looking the goods so far in that one. Quarter-final up on the northwest coast as Zebras desperately chase this game. An update, if you hadn't heard before, it's 7-1 down at Lightwood Park. So Devonport really just dishing out a thumping on Kimber Lions. Walter robs it of Toghill, nutmeg Sherman and finds Lazinski through for Hall. It's a timely tackle from Henry Fagg. Holds all the momentum of South Hobart. Looked like they were away at the races there. McEwen now squeezes out a ball. Hoogzoot does well to pick it up. He's got Turner to beat. Finds Engels and Walter gets a foot in and wins away. He might try and use some of his slick footwork. Tries to switch it up and finds Lazinski, but it's Walsh who wins. He beats Morton, finds Hoogzoot, who flicks on to Engels. Early ball into the box. Lewis heads away at the front post. Helped further by Quayle. Sits for Walsh. Drops it off for Griffin. Lofts a ball in the box first time. It's there for Moody! And it's into the crossbar and out of play. A good header from the big tall Canadian. Got a nice piece of it. And not too much in that one, Drewster. Could have easily been a late goal for the Hobart Zebras, as it looks like South Hobart are going to make their third and final change.
Morton coming off Ben Hamlet. And, the best 90 seconds of play Zebras have had all day. Sustained attack, good link-up play, good passing, dangerous balls into the area. Where's it been for the previous 90 minutes is the question that's got to be asked. Not been enough of it. They've shown there they've got the qualities. All these nice attacking moves. Just hasn't been enough of it today for the Zebras. A little too late. Engels will win this out. Up down there. Wow, they've got a kick in McEwen after we got rid of it, so that'll be dragged back. Another frustrated little challenge, I think, there for the Zebras boys. They know that this one's pretty well in the book. Yeah. I don't think he meant much by that at all. Lewis took it onto the head of Big Albie. His flick on was solid, but not a bit too much of it. It's about time Hamlet gets right up in Woodham's grill. Didn't take him long to try and spark a bit of controversy. Lively figure. Hamlet moves. Get this ball and look to turn. Done well, and he drew the foul. Well done there by Hamlet. It's a free kick in the middle of the park. 3 minutes and change gone.
17 fouls today for the Hobart Zebras. Shows to me they've gone in hard, but they've been second to the ball quite a bit.
They've been chasing shadows all day, Gilly.
Ludford chips over the top for Ferrell. French defender lays back for his skipper. Moody, of all people, tracking back to provide company. Through from Ferrell to Hall, back for Ferrell. Nice bit of work the South Hobart Stars, and it's flashed wide from Hall. A very speculative effort from about 20 yards on the left-hand side.
Yeah, 2-0 in the 94th minute. I suppose fair enough. It was 0 all at that time. You'd be chastising him for that one. But at the end of the day, why not try and score a blooper for the highlights reel game? Well, it's really one. Farrell does well to win this. Now feeds through Darcy Hall. He still might get his late goal here as he runs it through. Hamlet gets a touch on it. All for Griffin. Griffin out to Engels. Forced to retreat. Gather. Immediately pressured by Walter. Goes back to Coghill. Sherman chips it forward. Lewis misjudged that one. About the first mistake he's made all day, Matthew Lewis. Has been an absolute rock in the heart of the defence. Really impressive stuff from Matthew Lewis today. That was launched long. Walter, oh, the silk first touch there. Put down beautifully. Engels chips over the top. They got 2-on-1 here. And that just about sums up the Hobart Zebras day. Moody's touch, awful. Had an opening, nothing comes of it, but it's been a pretty dirty old day for the Zebs. We bundled out the Lakoseljac Cup, and therefore the FFA Cup is a surging run down the right, left rather from Hamlet. You win a corner, nice to keep it in instead. Looks at that, foul is given there. Who that was on the flank there, charging in, just pulled down late. Not a lot of contact there, but they made the most of it. Luke Farrell. So they'll still get one last shot. A third goal here. And they might just play around with it in the corner.
Playing silly buggers, I think, Brewster. All on the ball. Lazinski, and that's all she wrote. South Hobart, the reigning cup holders, through to the final four of the Lakoseljac Cup. Their eyes firmly placed on that one FFA Cup spot for a Tasmanian club. Unfortunately for Hobart Zebras, they're out of it. This is where the Lakoseljac Cup ends. 2-0 loss at the hands of South Hobart. And that is the end of this one. And the end of, as I said, Hobart Zebras campaign. It's not over for South Hobart. It's not over for Devonport Strikers, who have also beaten Kimbra down the highway. And it's not over for Olympia and University, who are next up from 5:30 Drewster at Warrior Park. So that's the next game on the equation. But how do you see the one we just saw here at Darcy Street? South Hobart striking early, and from there they did a pretty good job to close it out, you'd say.
Yeah, look, South Hobart roll on. They've been the best team in the state for the first month of season, league and cup games. They're on the Summer Cup. They've just gone about their merry way here again today. A very professional display. They took the lead early, and from there they knew that Zebras were going to have to take up to them. And Zebras simply didn't. They probably could have been up by more in the first half, really take advantage. Weathered a little bit of a storm right at half time, but reasserted themselves in the second half and were never truly challenged. The moment that second goal from Freddie Hess, as we see, went in 5 minutes into the second half, it was pretty much game over. The Zebras create any real clear-cut chances until far too late. They didn't trouble them. The Hobart controlled proceedings, and the Zebras will be left with their wounds. A disappointing exit for them. South Hobart, no, one of the home faithful, march on to the semi-finals, and we know, having represented Tasmania in the FFA Cup twice before, it's something they pride themselves on, and they're every chance of making it 3 years in a row if they keep performing like this.
You're dead right, Drewster. Now it's just a matter of who they'll meet in the semi-finals. They'll be hoping the University can probably knock off Olympia, and then they've got a choice of University or Ulverston or Devonport. And I don't think they'd want to play Devonport the form they're in, but a fascinating clash here today. Unfortunately for the Zebras, that first minute blunder made it really tough for them. They chased the game, they looked good at the end of the first half, but we never really saw the Zebras in full flight today, and we saw a few glimpses of why South Hobart are the form team in the state in the minute. They're in good touch, and they move on into the final four of this competition. It's about all we've got for you from Darcy Street. Good win for South Hobart. As we said, they're into the final four. Zebras crash out of the competition. For all the news and information on any of the Lakoseljac Cup games, head to sliceofcheese.net. Bye for now.